Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm PsychoSab and this is episode 11 and we're going to be following the Austrian Grand Prix here today. So like I said guys, F1 22 is going to be the game I'm going to start recording videos on. So I'm going to quickly set up the game here. We have already finished 10 races, so the remaining 12 or so races are going to be set up in this game. So of course we're going to be using broadcast pit stop mode as well as broadcast safety car mode, just because I want to try out broadcast safety car mode. I have no idea how it actually feels. So previously I used to actually go ahead and drive through the safety car period, but anyway, 80% AI, let's get going. So the Red Bull Ring then, or the Austrian GP as you might be knowing it as, is one of the fourth shortest tracks behind Monaco, Mexico and Brazil, and it actually has the shortest lap time as well. So quickest lap, and it is super fun to drive. But the only problem that I'm facing here today is that we have a wet quali session, which is hard because I haven't had any wet practice. The only practice session that I've set up was dry. So let's go out on a set of intermediate tires because of course I don't know how the track feels, and I'm gonna have to get some laps in before I can start making any impressionable time. So my first lap out, of course, it wasn't the best of laps. I was getting a little squirmy here and there, and of course I was going earlier on the brakes to try and get a feel of the track. So a couple of laps in, I was constantly around P8, P9, P11, but finally I decided to come back in and slap on a new set of intermediates and try again, because I was gonna start losing the grip on those tires because I was locking up a lot because of trying to get the feel of the track. So this was my last and final lap. The checkered flag is out as you can see, and it was going great. I was going later on the brakes and I was getting a much better traction out of corners and of course better lap time. So I'm about 1.5 seconds up on my previous times, so I'm expecting quite a good position. But that is P1 pole position. That is fantastic. I was not expecting to get such a great start to the weekend in this wet qualifying. So here we can see I'm about 6/10 quicker than both Ferraris and the rest of the grid. So that is great for Sunday start. Alright, let's get started.
Welcome to Spielberg for another exciting Formula One race. This circuit is renowned for its backdrop, surrounded by natural beauty, and it certainly is an idyllic destination for the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Verstappen, Russell, Ocon, Bottas and Pierre Gasly, Joe, Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris and Tsunoda, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Alex Albon, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Alright guys, let's get started. This is going to be a fun Grand Prix. I was lucky enough to get that pole position yesterday in the wet quali session, but we actually didn't even get started off the line. So that would have been a instant kind of penalty or something in real life. I have no idea. But I don't even know who gets session lap. So anyway, we got ourselves started and we're gonna have to warm up those tires and brakes and set up the car for the race. Now there's one thing that I want to try in this game, something that they do in real life as well. I want to set the car at an angle like the drivers sometimes do in real life. I want to see if it works and if it's effective in the game. Alright then, let's get started. It's time for round 11, the Austrian Grand Prix then, guys. Let's get this started. We have 5 lights out and away we go. We got a great start from the line as well as the Ferrari, I think that of Charles Leclerc. And then we can see back there George Russell's getting a little squiggly, trying to make some position. But we actually get ahead and there's a significant amount of gap right there behind me. So we're going to change our focus back there and see what's going on at the back. We have George Russell's fighting against one of the Ferraris. That is great action. We can also see back there, I think that's the AlphaTauri making some moves up as well. We can see Max Verstappen making up some positions after starting from a position that he wouldn't quite prefer. So here we are on board with Lewis Hamilton getting closer to the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. So it looks like things are settling down. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid. There's George Russell also fighting for some positions, wheel to wheel. I think that is Gasly. Let's see. So George Russell does stay ahead. So we're 1 lap down and Max Verstappen's making a move on the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz as well as Lewis Hamilton on Charles Leclerc, but he doesn't have enough space on this occasion, and George Russell continues to fight with the AlphaTauri back down in the order. Now Max Verstappen also trying to make a move on Lewis Hamilton, double overtake in 2 corners. That is fantastic, but does he make it and stay ahead? Yes, he does on this occasion. He probably also has DRS. But Lewis Hamilton has a better straight line speed and traction out of the corner, and he's making a move and he pushes Max Verstappen wide out of the corner. But does he have enough traction to stay in the inside as well as make that position stick? Let's see, wheel to wheel and side by side, there they go. Max Verstappen slightly ahead, but we see them dueling right there, and Carlos Sainz right on the tail of Lewis Hamilton. So let's see who stays up ahead. Max Verstappen's made that position, guys. Let's go. Lap 3 then, and Lewis Hamilton's had a couple of bad corners, and that's letting Charles Leclerc come back right at him. But he forces Charles Leclerc to take the inside short line. He doesn't get traction out of the corner, but he does have DRS. So let's see, Charles Leclerc has that immense straight line speed even without DRS. Let's see if he can make any positions right there. This time he pushes Lewis Hamilton to the inside line and gets better traction out of the corner. But does he make that position? Yes, he does. It's easy with DRS and straight line speed. Charles Leclerc up a position. Can he get back and fight for that position? Time will tell. Let's see. And Lewis Hamilton won't be fighting back. He's slowing down. He has a problem. Let's take a look. Let's see what happened with him. He was facing some issues before, but he seems to be having an engine related issue. So that's a mechanical failure. Then we can see smoke coming out of Lewis Hamilton's car. So that's another retirement for Lewis Hamilton then. Now there's a lot left in the Red Bull Ferrari top fight. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen are getting very close to me. They're all within 1 second, 5/10 actually. And Charles Leclerc is looking to make a move and just waiting for me to make a slight error. Let's see. Charles Leclerc himself has made a little bit of an error, gone a little wide off that corner. So that lets Max Verstappen get DRS, and Max Verstappen has made a move. But can he make it stick going deep into the corner? And he makes contact, a little bit of tire bumping there with the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. He has DRS again, another opportunity to get that position back. But do remember, Charles Leclerc also has that active DRS from being so close to me. So there again, Max Verstappen gets the inside line, doesn't have enough traction to make it through the corner. So Max Verstappen has backed off a little bit, but Charles Leclerc is still at it, and he goes a little bit wide in the last few corners, and that gives Max another chance and another DRS straight to make a move. But can he do it? The Ferrari really has that exceptional pace. Similar to what we're seeing in the real life season, the game has really done a good job with updating the car and driver performances. So let's see, this time around then, side by side goes Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, really dueling, fighting for that P2 of course, because I've taken P1. There's not much action on my angle, but there we go, side by side they go through sector 3. It's all about maintaining traction and cornering speed through the sector. Who's gonna let that position go back out? We don't see any of that happening anytime soon. They're still going side by side through every corner. Who's gonna give up that position? And Charles Leclerc still stays ahead. Max Verstappen waits out for another fight. So they're all pitting for fresh rubber than mediums. I've already pitted, I think, the previous laps 7. So the Red Bull and Ferrari pitting at the exact same time. It's all about who can get a better pit stop, which crew is better, faster and quicker. So Max Verstappen goes on for the medium tires and he's out, and Charles Leclerc gets held up by Max Verstappen because that would have been an unsafe release. Of course, there's nothing like that in the game, you just get held up. So Charles Leclerc then loses out on the pit stop and now has to fight Max Verstappen to gain that position back. Back to me then. A couple of laps have gone by and the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz has come so much closer to me, and he's actually challenging me for that position, and I haven't been allowing him to do that. So we got a little bit wide trying to maintain that position, and Sainz has actually gone out of shape there a little bit in that corner. That allows Max Verstappen to go right through. Now let's see if Carlos Sainz can fight back, maintain that position. He actually does go side by side deeper into the brakes. That still doesn't give him the best traction out of the corner. Max Verstappen still seems to be side by side, just that the Ferrari has a little bit better straight line speed at the moment. He's able to maintain with that DRS. So let's see then, we have the other Ferrari and Max Verstappen dueling for another position then. Who's going to come out on top? Now I'm going to be guessing that's going to be Max Verstappen with all that pace he has, and Charles Leclerc right there up on the tail of Carlos Sainz is going to take that position at the first opportunity he gets and start chasing down Max Verstappen. So the only car who hasn't pitted, the Williams, is actually obstructing us, and he's not even letting us pass because he doesn't have blue flag conditions, of course. But he finally does pit and actually releases us from that pain and suffering of driving behind the Williams for some time. Now we did see a little bit of contact there. Let's take a quick look at that piece of carbon fiber flying off of someone's car. Now we're gonna get a replay of what exactly happened, whose car it is exactly. So you see Charles Leclerc then. Oh, so Charles Leclerc has straight up rear-ended that Williams, and that has damaged his right side end plate. So let's see if that is enough damage to slow him down. It actually has slowed him down for a little bit. Few corners, you can see the Alpine right up there on the tail of both Ferraris, and Charles Leclerc actually stays ahead in that corner. So we're gonna have to see if Charles Leclerc can come back, regain that time that he lost from going off and wiggly off that corner behind the Williams. So lap 13 then, Max Verstappen's got awfully lot closer. He's got great pace this weekend so far, and he's actually challenging for my position now. Now we're not gonna let that happen. So even though he's made that position back, we've also had great pace this weekend. So we're gonna stay right there behind his tail, get all the DRs possible and try again. So here we go then with the DRS, which is so much closer to Max Verstappen, but just late braking gets me ahead, and Max Verstappen has to give up that position. So great move there, no contact, clean racing. So it's not long before he's able to challenge me again for that position. Lap 15, 2 laps after the initial attempt, and I push him wide off the track. That gives him bad traction, and Charles Leclerc goes right through again. So Charles Leclerc is back and Carlos Sainz has dropped off somewhere, and Charles Leclerc is actually also challenging for my position there. Ferrari has a great straight line speed, but I've closed the door and he's run out of track, even though he tried late braking, and that gives Max Verstappen another DRS zone. But does he make a move? It's just not enough track for him to stay ahead. Charles Leclerc, of course, side by side again. Both have DRS, and this is a beautiful camera angle. So Charles Leclerc does get ahead in this occasion. Oh wait, no he doesn't. Max Verstappen's right there on his left. We couldn't actually see that from the onboard, but Max Verstappen maintained that traction out of the corner. He's now back at it. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen going again wheel to wheel. We can see them juggling positions forward and backward. Who is going to get out and stay ahead of each other? Beautiful racing from the AI. No DRS now, of course. It's all about who has better traction, better power of these corners, and Charles Leclerc does stay ahead. Now do remember, he does have a little bit of damage in this season so far. A little bit of wing damage doesn't actually affect your performance so much. So the underground effect of these cars are really effective, and the overbody aero is not so much. So let's see, Max Verstappen has another opportunity to stay close enough to Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is also getting closer to me, and he does try to make a move around the outside, but we maintain that inside line. There's a little bit of contact there, but we maintain the position. Charles Leclerc lives to fight another day, but he has Max Verstappen right there on his tail, and he does have DRS. And Charles Leclerc does not, because he was ahead of me at the detection zone. That's going to give Max Verstappen a little bit of confidence, but of course Charles Leclerc still keeps it in position, and again they continue to duel for the last few corners. Sector 3, beautiful. Max Verstappen stays ahead of this duel then, but let's see. Charles Leclerc still has the energy to fight back. This has been amazing. We don't see much action from the Mercedes or George Russell. He's having a lonely race right back there. Now Charles Leclerc again with DRS overpowers Max Verstappen, but this time around I'm sure Max Verstappen is right there beside him to take the position back. Now he does get DRS and Charles Leclerc doesn't, so that's going to be easy for Max Verstappen to maintain this position, but next time around maybe not. So let's see. This is of course the last and final lap, so Charles Leclerc is going to have to make a move, but in this occasion he doesn't. It was a clean and strong fight between Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen today. So let's go then. That is a Red Bull 1-2 again. I think this is my second win of the season. Second or third, I don't actually remember. But it's been great. Today's race has been great. The new game, the AI, fantastic racing. But the AI of Red Bull and Ferrari. So that's 25 points for me, and like I said, we're going to be adding the scores from these 10 races to the first 10 races. So that's going to be fun. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a fantastic race. If you guys haven't already checked out the older races, we've had fantastic sessions, and of course they've been on F1 2021, and from now on, like I said, we're going to be going with F1 22, so there's a lot more content coming on. And I hope you guys will be sticking around for it. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.